Hey there, Gemini, and welcome to your week of December 27th, 2021 General Tarot reading. I know these videos are a little late for you here, so you can take this for like the next 6 days or 7 days if you wish instead. But these are general readings, so some, not all of this is going to resonate with you. If it resonates with you, that's great. If it doesn't, it's just not part of your message, so don't try to make something fit that doesn't, and we'll be all okay. Over here on the left, we're going to be looking at your energy coming into this week. Here in the center, we're going to be looking at some potential challenges here for you. And over here on the right, we're going to be looking at some potential outcomes for you too. We're going to get some more details on these by clarifying all of these cards with more cards, and then we're going to tie everything off with an oracle card at the end of the video. So you're going to want to stick around for all that. But without further ado, we're starting off with your energy. We've got you coming in as the Hierophant, the Strength card, and the Knight of Cups. So very good, very strong here. I feel like you're coming in a big way here with the Strength card especially. I feel like there's this aura about you this week where people can tell like you're in a powerful position, Gemini. I love it, especially we're looking at your card here, the Lovers, in your outcomes. That's incredible. We're going from strength to strength here, which is beautiful. So very good. With the Hierophant and the Strength card, those are Taurus and Leo's cards respectively. So you may have those cards, you may have those signs in your chart, and you may be dealing with those signs as well this week too. But the Hierophant is the learner, the teacher and the learner. So you can look at it as you're sort of coming, like these two, to learn from this Hierophant, or as you yourself are the teacher, instructing others and training others and such. I feel like for most of you, though, it's more of you're coming to the Hierophant to learn here with the Knight of Cups, because the Knight of Cups here is looking to cross this river here. I was gonna say cross the ocean, not on that horse, he's not, but he's looking to cross the river here because on the other side of the river is all his hopes and his dreams, all these things in his cup here that he's trying to focus on, that he's trying to manifest in his life, is all across this river. He needs to cross it. And I feel like with the Hierophant here, you maybe need to learn some things. You need to take some time to gain some information, learn, improve your abilities in order to cross that river, because you might need some level of knowledge. Well, you are naturally strong here with the Strength card. You may need just that little bit of push, because sometimes when you have just brute strength or just brute power or just brute talent, that sometimes isn't enough, because sometimes that can be negated completely by someone who has knowledge over you, right? So I feel like if you have that combination of knowledge and power, you're going to be pretty much unstoppable here, Gemini. So I love that. In your challenges here, we've got the Six of Wands, the Six of Cups, the Eight of Cups, and the Eight of Swords as well. So here is a very interesting energy, because this is kind of you, maybe like you wanting to walk away from something, or maybe you feel like you should walk away from something, or maybe you're just trying to get on the move here. Like we're talking about the Knight of Cups, where he wants to cross the river, but we see that this person actually is across some water onto more lands here. So I feel like that's the sense, like you really just kind of want to just go for it, right? Like knights themselves are impulsive, right? So that you might be feeling some of that impulsive energy this week, Gemini, where you want to just cross this river. Let's just get this over with. Like you feel like, I can do this. I got it in me. I know I can. But we're talking about that applied knowledge with your strength that like really sets you over the top, rather than maybe struggling a bit with your natural talents, right? With the Six of Cups and the Eight of Swords here as well, the Eight of Swords is talking about self-imposed restrictions. You may feel like this is restrictive, like you not being able to cross the river when you think you can make it, or you can make it. It might feel like, Gemini, you really have to go that extra mile. Like you want to go that extra mile, but like they're kind of holding you back. Maybe this Hierophant you're dealing with, this person you're trying to learn from, is kind of trying to pace you. Like make sure you have a firm understanding of like the basics of whatever this might be before they let you move on to the advanced stuff, right? Might be a thing where you might be doing online courses and they've locked you out from the more advanced stuff until you go through and complete all the lessons beforehand, right? So it might be a situation like that for you here, or for others it might be a situation like you feel like your hands are tied, like you feel like despite like your talents, your natural strength, your natural aura, and the knowledge you have acquired now, it feels like you still can't accomplish what you want to accomplish. And with the Six of Cups here as well, this might be all nostalgia driven, whether that be because you're trying to get back to that kind of like, that time, that feeling, young, you know, maybe when you were young at heart and the world seemed so, you know, colorful and awesome. Or maybe it's like trying to accomplish something from the past, like a goal you set out when you were young. You're like, this is something I have to do, and this is really what the focus is for you. It's like, I had this dream when I was a kid or a teenager or something, and you're like, now I'm going for it. Like, I'm really trying to go for it, and I didn't realize it was going to be as difficult as this is turning out to be, right? And it felt like when you're younger, it was just like, oh, just a snap of the fingers, a flick of the wrist, we're here, right? No problem. But now it's like, it looks a little more challenging than we might have thought so before, right? So very interesting here. Over here, and maybe as well, where we have these children in the Six of Cups before we go on, you may feel like you're being treated like a child. You may feel like that's like, you know, they're using the kid gloves with you. Like, you're like, no, I can do more. I can do the more advanced stuff. I can, you know, I can try the harder things. Like, let me do that. And it's just kind of like, nah, don't. Like, nah, let's not. Like, we better not. We gotta pace you. But you feel like, you know, why does everyone keep treating me like this, right? Why do they keep treating me like a kid? So, over here in your outcomes, though, looking beautiful. We got the Ace of Wands, the Lovers. That's your card, Gemini. If you're new to tarot readings, when you come up in your own reading, that's a very strong sign. It means you're coming into your power. It means you're walking into a very strong position, which is beautiful. But the Ace of Wands, the Lovers, and the Nine of Wands here, again, we kind of got that Nine of Wands up. I feel like this is less an outcome card for you, but more of a cautionary warning for you in the future, where if you try to rush things, you are going to get hurt. And then you're going to kind of be walled off and be like, okay, I'm not rushing things anymore. Like, you're kind of, and you might be a little scared to be adventurous from here on out, right? The Knight of Wands is the wounded warrior, someone who's been hurt before. They don't want to be hurt again. That's why they've built this wall of wands up around them, is they just don't want to get hurt. So that's why they've got it up there. They're doing things cautious and slowly and kind of warding people off and away from them. So like I was saying, like, maybe this is kind of like a potential for you, where it's like, and maybe if you do rush ahead and you do kind of go forward and you end up getting hurt because of this, you know, you get kind of, this water looks pretty calm here, but maybe you're going to get swept away and injured, you know. So just be careful, right? I feel like again, we were talking about that applied knowledge. You need to maybe stick with that stuff, because that's like better safe than sorry, right? With the Ace of Wands here, I feel like once you got that knowledge, once you got, you know, the information, the understanding of what's going on here, you're going to move forward in a very fantastic way. Like these sparks, maybe this knowledge is going to really blow up in your mind and like set your imagination on fire, and you're like, oh, I have all these ideas now, let's do this. Like, I never thought I could do this, that, or the other thing before, right? You know, we can always learn. You know, some people say, oh, I'm too old to learn and try new stuff. You never are. You're never too old to learn something new, and never too old to like accept something new in it and kind of learn and educate yourself as well. So I feel like this is going to open up a lot of pathways for you, this Ace of Wands. And with the Lovers here, again, we're talking about that strength. We're talking about that potential. You're going to have all the power you're walking into. But with the Lovers as well, what it's kind of general meaning more is for a soulmate connection. So I feel like you're heading, if you don't have a partner currently, you're heading that way with this. Like, this is the right path to be going on. Like, you're heading for success, and you're heading to draw in and be attractive to other people at this time, or in the down the road here in the future. But I feel like you're definitely heading that way. But if not, if you already are partnered, I see that relationship, you know, blossoming even further, or you just in generally walking into your power. So that's all very beautiful. So let's look into your outcome cards here, your clarifiers rather, in just a moment. Before we do, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it all so much. Appreciate all the love and support I see in the videos, all the views, likes, and comments. Appreciate it all so much. And I'm sending love and support out to you as well. I hope everything is going good with you and yours, and I hope this is resonating with you as well, Gemini. After these clarifiers, though, Gemini, we're going to be tying everything off with an oracle card, as we mentioned before in the video. Hopefully, you're going to stick around for all that to get the full scope of your message here. So, we got all sorts of cards popping out for you. We'll take them all, but we got the 10 of Wands, the Magician, the 8 of Swords, and the 9 of Pentacles. So that 8 of Swords is repeated now. If you're new to tarot, again, when cards repeat like that, it's a strong message. It's kind of like, pay attention here. So I feel like the 8 of Swords is like, you kind of know like the restrictions are on, right? They're kind of, you know that you kind of aren't going like full tilt like you want to, but it's for a good reason, because we got the Magician here as well with the 9 of Pentacles. And the Magician, I like how he's kind of over top of the 9 of Pentacles, almost as if he's trying to manifest that. He's trying to manifest that, you know, independence, that being able to handle things on your own, that strength of you know, having earned something, achieved something great, and just kind of being able to kind of stop and smell the roses and appreciate your accomplishments. So I love that. That's beautiful. And with the 10 of Wands here, this may feel kind of stressful, make you feel like it's kind of a bit of a burden, like you kind of have to go through your paces and stuff. This might be a situation too where maybe there's something that like we were talking about with you kind of in the past, might have been something you were super intrigued in, and you're super like, oh, I learned as much as I could about it. But you kind of just learned like kind of what other people know, and now you're kind of learning the tricks of the trade, right? And that's where this kind of burden is coming from, is because like you're like, no, I just let me go and let me do it. I'll figure it out. But again, we're putting the restrictions on. So notice though how the restrictions come off once we hit the outcomes, right? It's just restriction. You know, it's the saying that in the future you're going to be free to do what you want. It's just now you kind of got to play by the rules, right? So let's look at your clarifiers for your challenge cards. See what kind of details we can get out of them here too. All right. What have we got for you, Gemini? We got the Empress, the Three of Cups, and the Sun. That's awesome. The Sun is the happiest card in the deck, and even when it comes out in your challenges, it still means happiness. It's still a significant meaning of happiness, so that's really beautiful. With the Empress here, though, you know, she is about abundance, and again, she's about having big time harvest. She's about being in an abundance mindset. So you might be in that scarcity mindset, right, where we're talking about like you're not achieving your goals, you're not working towards them right now in the way you want to work towards them. You're not, you know, making these big impacts or this big movement towards where you want to be at this time. But if you change your mindset around and you're like, okay, I may not be having those things right now, but I'm gaining the knowledge, and knowledge is powerful forever, right? Like knowing things, educating yourself, that's powerful in the long run forever, right? You kind of like, that's not something you can trade in and put a monetary value on, right? Like when you know something, you have that information at your disposal. So I feel like you just need to kind of flick that switch and you'll be doing just fine. And with the Three of Cups, you may feel like you're kind of isolated at this time. Maybe this is something like an interest you have that maybe your family and friends don't quite share. For myself, I'm very much like that. Hockey is something I really enjoy. I'm a bit of a stats nerd when it comes to hockey, but none of my friends watch hockey. So like I can never talk to them about it, and like my family are kind of like, are super casual about it, so they don't really like when I start talking about like zone entries and, you know, time on ice and save percentages and stuff. They're just like, what are you talking about? You know, and it's like, oh, you know. So like I definitely feel you there, Gemini, where you might not, you know, you might not be quite having people you can talk to about something that you're super interested in. So it might not feel like they're supporting you, but they do support it. Like they do want to support you. You want to see you be happy ultimately. And if this makes you happy, even though they don't maybe understand it, then that's still something they're going to be, you know, like, go for it. Like, let's do this, right? So let's look at your, oh, I love it. The Ace of Wands coming out again. The 10, well, there we got all our cards. But we got the Ace of Wands again. We got the King of Pentacles and the 10 of Pentacles. That is great. That's that abundance we were talking about with the 10 of Pentacles, right? It is that abundance. That is that, you know, that's that abundance, that big time harvest we were talking about with the Empress, like that kind of a mindset, that big time, like, you know, I'm having an abundance of words coming to me at this time. I'm trying to sort them all through here in real time, but it's very much you having that big time harvest, having that abundance in your future. I think because you have the strength to do so. And I think because you have a good work ethic. Like ultimately here, you're just a little impulsive and a little impatient, it seems to be throughout this, but you got the work ethic, you got the want for knowledge, the thirst for going out and accomplishing things. It's just a matter of like, you know, being patient. It's just a matter of being mature. It's just a matter of like taking your time here and focusing on the things that you're gaining and you have rather than the things you don't have. And with the Ace of Wands repeating, we talked about this with the Eight of Swords, how that is a big time message. I love that this clarified itself too, and it was a pop out. That's beautiful, because that means to me, it's like the double thumbs. Like I'm probably going to put in the thumbnail of this video, like me giving you the double thumbs. Like, yeah, like this is good. That's what the Ace of Wands is, like, go for it. Like you got two Ace of Wands here. It's like you're double the best, right? Like it's just like, this is great. Like, let's go for it. Like we have all this freedom, all this room for growth, all this power at our disposal, Gemini, and you just really need to just go for it. Like the chains are going to come off, and when they're off, you're going to be off to the races here, Gemini. I love it. So let's tie this all off with an oracle card, wrap this all up for you, wrap up 2021, your tarot readings here, Gemini, and see what we got here. Hopefully this has been helping you out. Hopefully this has been resonating with you, Gemini. And let's see what we have in store for you. We've got the chameleon spirit, act as if, chameleon spirit's telling us act as if, like, just act as if you're patient. Act as if you're like, okay, I'm new to this. I want to learn as much as possible, right? Like, let's just be patient. Let's take our time. And that's going to help you in the long run, is like going into it as like with a beginner mindset, acting as if you don't know anything. Because I feel like that's ultimately going to really push you in a positive direction here, because that's going to maybe take your mind off of the fact that you do know more, right? You do know all these things. But if you come at it with this beginner mindset, acting as if you know nothing, then you might learn something or see things from a different perspective that you might not have before. That might, be those big time sparks we're talking about with those Ace of Wands, right? So that's beautiful. So hopefully this has helped you out. Hopefully this has resonated with you, Gemini. If you want to help out the channel, you can hit that thumbs up, like button down below. Helps out the channel a ton. You can also subscribe, which helps out, but it also helps you because you can find your videos from this channel so much more easier, like your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus sign videos, which you can check out after this. Thank you again for being here, Gemini, and I hope to see you in the next video.